about to hop into something that's crazy. Reparations.
For the segment 2?
Reparations. Nah, it's not even on segment 1, segment 2. We just going, bro.
Nah, I bet.
Reparations. So basically, in the news right now, it's a lot. The trend, so it seems, is for companies to support, minorities right now. If you're not taking care of minorities right now, your business is not marketable. Nobody wants to do business with nobody that has not taken a clear stance to want to do something to help uplift minorities. So we got Trump Platinum Plus plan, right?
Mm.
So basically, what I see from what I was able to collect or gather from the internet was basically the specifics of the deal is that there's going to be $500 billion in access to capital, meaning that if you want a loan or you want any type of money and you're a minority, the money's going to be there for you. They're going to make sure that you have that availability, which in the past was not there.
Okay.
Right? The next thing is they're creating 3 million new jobs. How? I don't know, but that's the statement made. They said that they're going to bridge historic disparities in healthcare and education.
Mm.
So, once again, I don't know what that means.
Very
We could
vague.
probably speculate on some of those things. Then they're going to do school choice, which I like a lot. Criminal justice. Okay. Favorable trade for black farmers and manufacturers. I don't even know people farm. I think it just might be the New York in me. Or like
Yeah,
from
a lot
the
of there's
north.
a lot of farmers.
Yeah, I didn't even know it was that big of a space, but apparently it's a lot going on there. And then they're going to make Juneteenth a national holiday. We love to see it. So thoughts. I had a few questions I want to dive into. People are saying that it's funny how most people on the right say that systemic racism does not exist, right?
Mm.
But if systemic racism does not exist, why would there be a plan that seems to tackle systemic issues?
Yeah, I mean, I can't even go too deep
Right?
into answering because, like, that's just...
I'm saying it's politics, bro.
It's like, if there's a... Here's a better question.
Mm.
So, obviously, we're going to disregard anyone who doesn't agree with systematic racism. Like, I'll listen to your viewpoint. I'm happy to discuss. But at a certain point, if you, like, blatantly do not, like, see what's going on, systematic racism exists. I would say, here's my question.
Mm.
Do you think reparations, like a dollar amount, would be an appropriate way to combat systematic racism?
My thing is, it depends how specifically that dollar is used, right? Because the most important thing about racism that people like to say that why only one race, black people, could be racist is the power in it, right?
Mm.
And money is power, right? But if money is not putting you in a position that you could like have a business or something like that, to me, it's like what power did they really give you? Like the access to capital is like you get a loan. To me, in my personal opinion, I would say a loan does not necessarily put somebody in the position that I feel like they would need to be in. So therefore, I would say a specific dollar amount and a value of a loan doesn't do much to me.
All right, so not a loan. I'm talking cash, money, straight out. So let's think about it. Every American got a stimulus check for the most part. I didn't get mine yet, whatever. There's like 325 or like 330 million Americans.
Right.
They all, let's just say 100% of Americans received it, and there's about 20% of that population is black people. So let's say the U.S. government's like, you guys want reparations? We're going to cut you a check. And stick with me here. So the stimulus check was like 1.2K, and we already said black people were like 20%. So instead of all Americans, let's say they devoted all that money to African Americans. So it'd be 5 times the stimulus check, since 20% is 1/5 of the total population. You copy?
Yeah, I get you. I'm following you.
So then they gave us 5.6. You know what I'm saying? Like around roughly 6K. Would that be enough? Would that be like an okay reparation? Like, here's cash money, 6K. Sorry for everything that happened.
You know how fast I spent 6K, bro?
Absolutely.
I would religiously run through 6K.
Yeah.
The thing is, right now, there's a lot of people, black and white, regardless, right? If you gave them a certain amount of money, they would spend that money foolishly, and it would not be beneficial to them, right? So, I think that if you was to come to a community right now that's economically disadvantaged and give them a ridiculous amount of money, I will argue that the level of financial literacy is not there for it to be beneficial or utilized in a way that's going to help people progress in life.
But the counter to that is choosing how that money should be spent for them would be like a disregard for whatever personal things are going on in each individual's lives that they could have like put that money to. So like there are single mothers over here or someone over here trying to pay for like college education. Obviously, 6K is not enough for both of those scenarios. But it's like, who should have control? Should it just be up to them completely, or is any dollar amount never gonna be worth it?
The thing about any dollar amount now is not going to be worth it for the main reason that wealth is a time game. So the more time you have, the more wealth you're gonna have. So even if you give somebody right now, who like the same amount of money, like you say you give somebody now 100K, right? You're still competing with somebody who had so much time to accrue wealth that if it's like they're going to have more money than you regardless. If you guys both invest in the same fund and somebody's investing 10 million, you're investing 100K, that person is going to accrue wealth way faster than you. It just because wealth is a time game.
Yeah, but on a time graph, that person who just received the 100K is now light years ahead of where they would have been prior to if they had never received it all.
Nah, for sure. But it's never going to be equal though.
And that's
so then what's the point? If the whole point is equality, it's never going to be equal unless you give somebody the same 10 million. Then that's technically equal.
So you're saying even because it will never be equal, the 100K would like let's say they're like
obviously it would be good. I'm not gonna say it wouldn't be good. Like it will still do something. But if your whole premise is like trying to make it a level playing ground, you can't make it a level playing ground unless you're about to dish out like literally trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars.
I mean, you make a valid point. I would low key settle for 100K.
I would definitely settle for it too. Don't get me wrong.
But here's the problem with that as well. Afterwards, I feel like any sort of race issue that like comes up to the mainstream or whatever, wherever you see it, they'd be like, "Yo, we already paid reparations, bro. You can't talk. We settled reparations. We cashed out the check."
But then it's always gonna be that one person that's gonna come and be like, "Listen, it's still not fair. Even though they gave us this, they need to. What they need to do is they need to pause white people from making money for 400 years, and then at that point, reparations are fully done. So it's never gonna be money. It's literally time. Like,
but you can't. We already know that's something that's. So then, what's the solution for it?
It's literally no solution, bro. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It's literally no like objective, like one solution. It's like people try to find like affirmative action as a way to fix it. People say making sure that there's certain racial quotas, which I might support fully, depending on what the situation is. Some people might think of those as sort of smaller ways to fix it, but in terms of like an actual dollar amount, there's no dollar amount. Because even, like I said before, if you give somebody 100K now, the time that they have is still going to be equal to the time that somebody else had, right? If you sold your grandma's house for 250K in 2000, right? And now you put that in the market, you have 20 years of your grandma's house that was fire, right? But then most people who are in African American community, they're not passing on 250,000 to the next generation. They might not even pass on anything, if anything at all, right? So it's like the time aspect and like certain factors like that. I feel like it's nothing you can do. You can't fix it, bro. There's a situation where it's just like, damn.
We can't fix it today. We can't fix tomorrow, and we can't even fix it within the next 5 years. But I think taking those steps, even if it like 100K is outrageous, like that would never happen in a million years. But let's say they do that, like that might fix some issues here, some issues there. That definitely wouldn't be a web net to capture all the issues that exist today. But over time, just like tackling at like this monument of a problem, honestly, I think over time then you would start to see like generational changes. But yeah, I agree with you. The amount of time lost has created a situation where there's nothing we can do today to fix it, but there is something we can do daily to at least remain hopeful that one day things will change. But yeah, no, I agree with your point completely.
And even to like tie it back into like what we're talking about, like market opportunities and like how it's like entry level market opportunities and there's like real wealth building opportunities. There's some people right now in society that don't even have to worry about entry level opportunities. Like they're probably like 19, go to their dad like, "Dad, I want to build an app." That's a true wealth building opportunity. Like, "Dad, like there's this financial tech, like this fintech idea I have. Like, can you help me like fund it?" "Yeah, sure, son." That's literally wealth building opportunities to like the max. So we're gonna get to some of those like spaces later. But most people like in the African American community, they're looking for the entry level opportunities, like whether it's like media, content creation, whether it's real estate, whether it's whatever. any way they could hustle their way into an opportunity that could then further make them wealth. You feel me?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
But that's why I think like the Platinum Plus plan, I feel like is good politically. Like, yeah, it's nice politics, but it's like you can't. There's nothing you can actually do in a way of reparations that's going to, in me personally, fix time unless you're literally dumping like a ridiculous amount of money into that
Which
economy.
like that would just honestly cause arguments on the other side. Like,
And it would literally tank America. Like if you put in like 100 trillion, which I would think it would be more than that probably,
Nah, you can't. We can't afford 100 trillion. We couldn't afford 100 trillion in the next 20 years.
but we can't even afford this little 1.8 that they're arguing right now in Congress right, about the second stimulus.
Yeah,
You would have to literally give African American people at least like 250K a person.
that's crazy.
At least, bro.
That's crazy.
Bro, people be selling.
I'm down for that.
People be selling homes for like 300K when their great grandma passed away. That's a ridiculous amount of money, bro. And they were stopping people at a certain time with redlining and things from even getting a crib.
But that's still not the majority of America. Like,
Nah, for sure.
The average household income is still like 34, and like I said before, we're only like 20%. So like, there's obviously still a lot on the other side of the aisle who aren't making that much. But the people at the top, for sure, are flipping homes for a couple milli like it's nothing.
Now the thing is, and I was just watching. Yo, if you have Hulu right now, you gotta watch Underground. It's a great series that talks about like building wealth, right? So basically, there's a lot of families right now, low key, that are so rich because because of slavery, and that's why people get so mad. Like in terms of like this whole argument of wealth, because it's like, yo, your family literally had their wealth off of the fact that you had a plantation that you were selling people like they were stocks. You know, that's a fact. In the thing they were showing, it was like, yo, they'll buy like a little kid, like, I think it's gonna be a big boy one day.
Yeah.
Buy him for like 600, sell boy for like, I'm just putting today's number. Buy him for like 600, put it in like selling for like 20K. It's like, dang, that was a good return on my investment.
Nah, definitely. There would even be like auction blocks. Obviously, there's 3 dudes.
That's
and
sick.
one who's mad.
That's why
Probably-
people get dumb tight about like wealth stuff. It's like, yo, you was really making money off the back of a human being.
Yeah, no, everyone should be cognizant of that and upset about it as well. The only problem that lies there is when people are like directly mad at individuals today.
For sure.
Because like obviously, I mean, they're born just like me and you. Like one might have been more fortunate, or one's background might have been more tarnishing. But not absolutely everyone should be. That's something everyone should be upset about.
No, for sure.